I didn't have this on my bingo card with the Rock Machine attacking the Outlaws Motorcycle Club because here in the States, they've been getting along pretty cool. But like anything with an international motorcycle club, one might not be talking to the other, meaning, okay, if you got chapters in Europe, they're not talking to the ones in the United States. So one in Europe pulls a stunt, a chapter. It doesn't matter which club, but somebody pulls a stunt over in another part of the world. Next thing you know, it's affecting everybody here in the States. So there was an incident where Rock Machine members attacked members of the Outlaws. That was last year. We covered it. And now there is a final conclusion to what happened. But you're going to see what I was talking about when it comes to if something happens somewhere else, it happens here in the States as well. So let's take a look at this right here. This is from the BBC News. And by the way, you can get additional reporting on this over at harleyliberty.com if you haven't gone over there and checked it out. Motorcycle gang members jailed for violent assault. And I can already hear the super supporters out there. Motorcycle club, motorcycle gang. See, you know what? That's been going on in hell since the 70s or 80s. It's just a club. It's not a gang. But the problem is when you have this kind of stuff, or you have shootings, or you have conflicts in public, that's where that's thrown out the door. And nobody wants to listen to it. Anyway, 6 men, and here you just see the guys that actually did it if you're over on the video. 6 men have been jailed after carrying out a targeted attack on 2 members of a rival motorcycle gang. And by the way, when we cover this, because I'm going to get this, we have to cover the article as is. So if they say something, we got to read it out. Anyway, members of the Rock Machine, Lee, I'm not going to go through all the names because there's like 6, but they carried out an attack on a man and a woman outside a pub on Marcus Place in Gloucestershire. So this happened in England in April of 2025, but it still has ramifications here in the state because there's Rock Machine in the States. The male victim age was 60s. He was in his 60s. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries, including a bleed on the brain and a fractured jaw. Yeah, they're not going to let that one go, especially being in the 60s. And yeah, the women also sustained injuries, but did not need hospital treatment. Now, the 6, this is where the conclusion came to this, were sentenced to a combined total of 27 years and 2 months at a Crown Court. The court was told the attack happened after a dispute between 2 motorcycling groups, the Outlaws and the Rock Machine. The victims were sitting near the clock tower in Colford on the 5th of April, 2025, when 5 vehicles, 5 of them, arrived and members of the Rock Machine Motorcycle Club charged at them, some carrying weapons such as metal poles, baseball bat, a hammer. Usually a hammer ain't used except for, you know, a couple other clubs, and the attack left them both pretty bad. Judge Richardson said there was a, quote, willingness to engage in confrontation and violence and a desire to ensure the rock machine were on the top. Now, that's from a judge, so we don't know if that's the case. And again, we don't know what led to it, but it just blew my mind at the time that it happened. You know, you've seen them, together in the States. You've seen them together in Canada. I don't know. After the sentencing, Detective Sergeant Robert Humphreys said, well, of course, a cop would say this. I am pleased that 6 men have been jailed following their involvement in what can only be described as a calculated and brazen violent assault. They're saying it was planned. Anyway, it goes into everything that they were charged with on a deeper dive on the podcast over on YouTube, Motorcycle Madhouse, or on the podcasting platforms. We're going to dive a little deeper into the Nordic Biker War, man. That was something else. We're going to dive into that. But so let's go some good news here. Let's disable that. The SPCA of East Texas partners with Kazak Motorcycle Club for an urgent food drive. Yes, we got some good stuff going here. You got to see a bunch of titty tats right there. The rescue organization is housing more than 120 kitty cats and says requests for assistance continue to rise, placing additional strain on the resources. And the SPCA of East Texas is asking for community's help as it faces growing demands during kitten season. I guess there's a kitten season. They're housing the 120. Now, to help those needs, 3 local chapters of the Kazak Motorcycle Club have partnered with the SPCA of East Texas to host a food drive and fundraiser on Saturday. So it was this past. Organizers say more than $1,200 was already raised, but critical supplies are still urgently needed. Among the most recent donations are pet food, puppy pads, kitten and puppy formula. Quote, we can always use help when you are feeding these many animals every single day. That was the executive director of SPCA. Every single donation counts. Rock and roll there. So they're looking at needing some help, and the Kazak Motorcycle Club stepped up, which is a really cool thing. Anyway, that original story, man, what do you guys think? Especially those that are in the scene, that knows all the mechanics that are in the scene, I guess you would say. Did it blow your mind? It blew my mind. I was like, damn, no way, man. So the implications worldwide is going to be something else. Woo. Got to start talking to each other is what I say, man. Anyway, deeper dive coming up after this. If you haven't checked it out, man, you got to check it out. It's a really interesting conversation about the articles that we cover. HarleyLiberty.com, man. We do a lot of our own stuff over there. Go check that out. Don't forget Insane Throttle music, man. It's really taken off. Outlaws, F the world, man, is going strong right now on all the streaming platforms. We'll talk to you later. Rock on.
Insane Throttle, your official Google News source for everything biker. Thanks for riding with us. Smash that subscribe button, check out InsaneThrottleNews.com for the latest updates, and join the insanity today.
Insane Throttle Outlaw Rock, featuring Insane Throttle and Defiant Afterlife. Get your playlist full of pure rock and metal. Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. Subscribe and crank it up.
Now I'm back